You're eating enough. You're doing everything right. Maybe you're sleeping well, taking care of yourself, but you're not in the gym. You haven't trained in weeks, months, maybe years. So here's the question that won't leave you alone. Can you actually build muscle without training? Just by eating the right thing? The internet says yes. Influencers say yes. The truth? It's way more complicated. And honestly, it's not what you think. Let's be real about what you've probably heard. Myth number 1, just eat more protein and you'll build muscle. Myth number 2, if you don't lift weights, your diet doesn't matter. Both are oversimplifications, dead wrong in different ways. Here's what people don't understand. Your body is not a motivational poster hanging in a gym. Your body is a survival machine. It doesn't care about your goals. It only does things when there's a reason to. Think about it. Your body doesn't waste energy building muscle tissue just because you gave it protein. That's not how biology works. Your body builds muscle because it's under demand, because it's being challenged, because there's a reason for those muscles to exist. Feed it all the protein you want without that demand, and your body asks itself, why would I invest energy into this? That's the first myth destroyed. Without resistance training, your body has zero incentive to build new muscle tissue. Zero. Not low, not limited. Zero. You know what we call this in fitness? No demand, no investment. Your muscles exist for a reason: to move against resistance, to handle weight, to overcome challenges. If there's no challenge, there's no reason for them to grow bigger or stronger. You can eat all the protein in the world. You can hit every nutritional target. You can sleep 12 hours a day. But without that resistance stimulus, without training, you're asking your body to build something it doesn't need. It's like trying to convince a company to build a factory when there are no orders coming in. It makes no business sense. And here's the part that matters. You cannot out-eat the lack of stimulus. That's not how the human body works. That's not how any body works. Some people think nutrition is the answer to everything. It's not. Nutrition is important, critical, actually. But it's not the answer to this question. You need the stimulus first. Then nutrition supports what the stimulus creates. Without the stimulus, nutrition alone is just excess. Okay, here's where it gets interesting. There is one scenario where your body builds muscle without you training right now. But it's not what the title implies. The loophole is this. Your body can add muscle tissue without training if the body is recovering muscle that was already lost. This is crucial to understand. This is where hope lives, but also where people get confused. Let me break this down into 4 real situations. Situation number 1, the detrained lifter. Let's say you trained for 5 years, built real muscle, then life happened. Injury, job change, whatever. You stopped training for months or even years. Your muscles didn't disappear, but they got smaller. Your body downsized them because they weren't needed anymore. Now you start eating right again, hitting protein targets. Your body says, oh, we need those muscles again. And here's the thing, your neuromuscular system remembers. It's called muscle memory. Your body regains that lost muscle tissue faster than someone who's never trained before. That can happen without training right now? No, but it happens way faster because you're recovering what you lost, not building something brand new. Situation number 2, post-injury or post-immobilization recovery. Someone breaks an arm, wears a cast for 8 weeks. The muscle atrophies. It shrinks dramatically. The moment that cast comes off, proper nutrition accelerates recovery. The body rebuilds that tissue faster. But again, you're recovering, not building new. Situation number 3, the early beginner in recomposition. Someone completely sedentary picks up light activity, starts eating well. They might see muscle gains in the first 4 to 8 weeks, even without structured training, but that's a beginner effect. New stimulus from basic daily activity, plus proper nutrition. After that window closes, the gains stop without real training. Situation number 4, the chronic undereater finally eating enough. Someone spent years eating too little. Their body is depleted, muscle is broken down, everything is in a deficit. They start eating properly, hitting protein, getting calories. Their body rebuilds. That's recovery, not new growth. So now we get to the title promise. Only if you eat this. And here's what people expect. One special food, one magic ingredient, One supplement that changes everything. That's not it. This isn't about one food, it's about a strategy. And the strategy is this. You need high-quality protein, dosed strategically across multiple meals per day, designed to trigger a specific biological response. Not just protein quantity. That matters, sure. But what really matters is how you eat it. One meal with 100 grams of protein? Your body can only process so much per sitting. 4 meals with 25 to 30 grams of quality protein? That's where something changes. There's a biological threshold we need to hit. In the fitness world, we call it the leucine threshold. I'm not going to make this complicated. Here's the simple version. Leucine is an amino acid, a building block of protein. It's like the start button for your muscle-building machinery. Your muscles need this button pressed multiple times throughout the day. If you eat a big protein meal once a day, you press that button once. Your body builds a little bit. If you eat 4 solid protein meals spread across the day, you press that button 4 times. Your body gets 4 signals to build. Most people don't do this. They have a protein shake in the morning, maybe some chicken at lunch, skip it, then eat something at dinner. Inconsistent, spread out, not strategic, and then they wonder why nothing changes. Let's talk about how your body actually builds muscle. When you train, you create micro damage in muscle fibers. Your body detects this damage and says, we need to rebuild this stronger and bigger. That rebuilding process requires raw materials, amino acids from protein. But here's what most people miss. Your body can only use a certain amount of protein per meal to actually build muscle. The rest, it's either used for energy or stored, maybe broken down. Research shows that around 25 to 40 grams of high-quality protein per meal triggers the full muscle-building response. Going significantly beyond that in one sitting doesn't proportionally increase the benefit. But, and this is key, doing this 3 to 4 times a day? That's where the strategy wins. You're not trying to build new muscle from nothing. You're supporting recovery. You're giving your body the best possible conditions to rebuild what was lost, or to support whatever minimal muscle-building stimulus exists. Without training, that stimulus is basically zero. So the role of nutrition becomes, don't waste the opportunity, don't undereat. Hit the mark consistently. Your muscles are made of protein. To rebuild or maintain them, you need a constant supply of amino acids. Not excessive, not magical, just adequate and consistent. Here's a real fact. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed that spreading protein intake across meals actually optimizes something called muscle protein synthesis. Basically, your body's ability to build or rebuild muscle tissue. Lumping it all into one meal? Less efficient. Spreading it out? Better results. That's the mechanism. That's why the strategy matters. If you're serious about this, and you should be, here are the rules. These aren't suggestions. These are the baseline. Rule 1. Each meal must be a real protein dose, not a sprinkle. When I say high-quality protein, I mean 25 to 40 grams per meal. That's substantial. That's real. A chicken breast, 3 eggs, 150 grams of fish, a cup of Greek yogurt, a scoop and a half of whey protein. Not a side, not an afterthought. The center of the meal. Rule 2. Hit that dose 3 to 4 times a day, every single day. Consistency is where the magic actually lives, not in the food itself, in the repetition. Your body adapts to patterns. If you're serious about recovery or supporting muscle, it's not optional, 3 times minimum. 4 is better. Rule 3. Use high-quality sources that reliably trigger the response. Not all protein sources are equal in terms of amino acid profile and how efficiently your body uses them. Some sources trigger that leucine response better than others. And if you're not training, you need sources that work efficiently. All right, let's talk actual foods. The top tier, most efficient, whey protein powder. Cleanest source, most leucine, fastest to digest. Best bang for your buck. Lean beef, highly bioavailable. Complete amino acid profile. Leucine rich, the gold standard. Chicken and turkey, lean, affordable, effective. Same amino acid profile as beef, just different price point. Eggs and egg whites, complete protein, extremely efficient. Whole eggs have fat, whites are pure protein. Greek yogurt and cottage cheese, high protein per serving. Casein protein is slower digesting, which has benefits for recovery. Fish, tuna and salmon. High leucine content, plus omega-3s, which actually help with recovery and inflammation. These work because they have high amounts of leucine relative to total protein. They're efficient. The plant-based reality check. Can you do this without animal products? Yes, but it's harder. You usually need higher total protein, and you need to be smarter about combinations. Soy isolate is the most reliable plant option. It's the only plant protein with the leucine profile close to animal sources. Beans and legumes? They work, but you'd need larger quantities and better combinations with grains or seeds. Nuts and seeds? Good, but not high enough in protein density to be your main strategy. If you're plant-based, you can still do this. It just takes more planning and probably more total protein to hit the same threshold. Here's where people get lost. Protein is the trigger. We've established that. But calories are the fuel, and you can't ignore this. Here's the reality. If you're eating massive surpluses and not training, those calories are not going to become muscle. They're going to become fat. Your body doesn't magic food into muscle tissue without a reason, without that demand. So, if you're trying to recover muscle or optimize recovery, you need enough calories to actually rebuild. Not so many that your body stores excess as fat. If you're rebuilding after being under-eating for years, a modest surplus makes sense, maybe 200 to 300 calories above maintenance. If you're maintaining and recovering from light activity, you're at maintenance or slightly above. If you're eating 1,000 calories above maintenance and not training, your body is going to store that. That's basic thermodynamics. Controlled intake wins, not restriction, not excess. Enough to rebuild, not enough to blur into just gaining fat. That's the uncomfortable truth nobody wants to hear. Let's be honest about something. A lot of what people call muscle gain without training is actually muscle regain. It's recovery. Some of it is something else entirely, glycogen and water. When you've been under-eating and under-hydrating, your muscles are depleted. The moment you start eating properly and drinking water, your muscles fill up with glycogen, stored carbs, and water. This makes you look fuller, more pumped, bigger. Is that fake? No. It's real water, real glycogen. Your muscles actually do look bigger. Is it muscle tissue? Not really. It's the recovery of muscle fullness. That distinction matters, because if you're not training, most of what you'll see from eating right is regain and fullness, not new tissue growth. And that's fine. It's still a positive change, but it's not the miracle story. The miracle story is what influencers sell. The reality is more modest, but it's honest. If you're going to try this without training, and I'm not recommending it, here's the bare minimum checklist. Daily protein high enough to matter. Not optional. 100 to 150 plus grams daily, depending on body weight. 3 to 4 trigger meals every single day. Consistency over perfection. Sleep like it's your job. 6 hours minimum. 7 to 9 is the target. This is where recovery actually happens. Move daily. Walk. Stretch. Light activity. This prevents your surplus from turning into pure fat storage. Creatine is optional. It's helpful, not magic. It supports muscle function and recovery. 5 grams daily if you want an edge. But here's what this checklist is missing. The training stimulus that actually matters. No checklist fixes that. So here's the truth. Food can support recovery. Food can help regain muscle that was lost. Food is essential. But here's what food cannot do. Food cannot create the demand that builds new muscle tissue. That's what training does. That's the only thing that does. Think of it this way. Diet is the bricks. Training is the blueprint. You can have all the bricks in the world, but without the blueprint, you're just piling them up. If you want real muscle, muscle that's actually built and not just recovered, eventually you stop negotiating with reality. You train, you eat right, you recover. That's the formula. No shortcuts, no solutions that don't require effort. And honestly, that's the answer that's worth your time. But here's what most people are doing wrong when they are eating to support muscle growth. They're eating foods that literally sabotage the entire process, every single day, without knowing it. I made a whole video about the 5 worst foods for muscle building, and I guarantee you're eating at least 3 of them daily. The next video shows you exactly which ones and what to replace them with. Because if you're going to eat right, eat actually right.